That's going to be the enhanced, bigger, better version of Making Money A to Z. Hey, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions. The title of this little ditty: Roaches, Rats, and Snakes. Storage Auction Pest. I get this question a lot, and it was on the list of videos to do, so I just hit it off today. People, for some reason, are nasty. I mean, I can't explain it because, understand, all it takes is one nasty tenant to move in and it can literally affect a whole section of storage units. I mean, it's happened to me, it's happened to my friends. Understand, if you buy a lot of units, you will run into this problem. Why? Because roaches are everywhere. The rat deal, yeah, you're going to run into some rats. But usually, 9 times out of 10, you're going to run into their dead carcass. For some reason, if there's something that draws them in, they will gorge themselves on it until they implode. I've seen, all you see is fur in the tail. I mean, it's ridiculous. But typically, if there's one, there's going to be at least 3. So check your stuff. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's very, very disgusting. And it's going to be really bad at older storage facilities. It's going to be real bad. And if that storage facility is near a wooded area, oh my God. There's one place that whenever I bought a unit, I would just go ahead and bomb the unit. When I say bomb the unit, go to Walmart or Sam's Club or whatever and get the little foggers, and I just chuck 3 or 4 in there. Tell the storage facility there's an infestation problem. 2 reasons. They really, really want to know this information because it can prevent further claims with them later, and they will give you extra time. I never had a problem when I would go in the office and I was like, look, that unit is crawling with roaches. They're all over the place. And they're like, oh, really? And I would go ahead and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I understand. I'm not trying to get out of not buying a unit, but I would like extra days to clean it out because I'm about to go around the corner, get some foggers, and I'm about to throw them in there and kill these roaches before I load this stuff and take it back to my place. And they were like, oh, okay. I mean, seriously, just have a conversation. They will work with you. Especially if it's a huge problem, show them. Take them to the unit. Let them see the critters going everywhere. At that point, they're gonna call because every storage facility has pest control anyway. They have to, and this would give them an up song. You clean up the unit. They're probably gonna hit it real hard and maybe not even let someone rent it for a while, and also be worried because understand, Rodney the roach, or I should say Rodney the rat, and Roscoe the roach, they travel. If they move into the condominium, they're going to go check out the other units. That's just the way they are. And the biggest reason that you get this stuff is you have people who store food. I don't understand why you're storing rice and stuff, but anything that you could think of in terms of food, I found in the storage auction unit. Anything. So how do you protect yourself from this? Because frequently, with the rat dropping, sometimes you'll see them before you buy the unit, and you know you've got a problem. Roaches, sometimes you don't know until you get in there, and it's like, oh Lord, Roscoe was a rolling stone because there are a ton of these little buggers in here. But essentially, you buy the unit, you're stuck with it. Now, I think if you really push the issue, you may get out of it if it's like a massive, massive infestation. But I usually looked at it as just the cost of doing business because to take the foggers, hit the unit, let it sit for 2 or 3 days, and I've never had a roach problem in my personal residence. My partner did, and we took stuff home all the time. We did not have a problem with roaches or anything in the warehouse. Now, to bed bugs. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Never had a problem with bed bugs. Sold a lot of mattress sets for years. People knew where I was. So if there was a problem, someone was like, hey, it's just, I would say, one, if the mattress is ultra crappy, throw it away. That's what we did. I mean, you're gonna get pee stain, blood stain, food stain. I don't. People do a lot of crazy stuff in bed, and they don't go invest in a freaking $10 mattress cover, which would prevent all that. I don't get it, but just throw them away. Because the thing is, bed bugs. I think they could be anywhere, but I'm thinking that's more of regional incident. Because I know it was crazy at one point in New York, but I don't have any experience with bed bugs. Never had a problem. Never run into one. Don't really know what to tell you because essentially we eyeballed, we looked at stuff. I mean, seriously, just never had a problem with that. But for Rodney the rat, I've only run into 2 live rats in units, and they were more afraid of me than them. But it's just like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But that's the disgusting downside of the business that no one really talks about. You are going to run into these pests. Now, some of the tips of how to prevent getting these things to your house. Rent the unit and work out the unit. Bomb the unit, like I said. Or, hey, don't buy. But that's a hard one because, like I said, some of the worst units that I ever got, because I remember this one. It was in Cobb County off Austell Road. It was an older facility. It was Uncle Bob's facility. And someone had lifted up a flap, and there was like a family of rats. Mama rat and little baby rats. And they were still, doing their rat thing. And I was just like, whew, God, if they're up there. And she just had, there's probably more. I was like, do I really want to deal with it? But there was a ton of really nice vintage and antique furniture. And I just kept saying, okay, what are you going to do here? Because you can kill rats. I bought the unit, and it was worse than I thought. There was like 12 of those buggers in there. Actually, but they were moving slow. They were like, I don't know if they were dazed or they had, because like I said, the storage facilities have pest control, and I don't know if they've eaten some of the pellets because they were all moving slow. There was clearly something wrong with them. So I just scooped them up, put them in the bag, and took them to the dumpster. Like I said, it really wasn't a problem, and I think they were mice, because they were small. I think they were mice, but still, the same thing, mice, rats, you don't want to deal with that stuff. And it was that family, there was another family, like I said, they moved in the condo. And understand, my skin was crawling the whole time, but I paid $450 for the unit. I made about $3,000 when it was all said and done. So was it worth it? Oh, hell yes. I think because of the rats, I got the unit on the cheap because it was nice stuff. That unit may have went for $1,000 to $100 with the crowd that was there, but because of those rats, so we lifted up and like, ah! And everybody ran, and it's like, oh God, there's rats, and I'm just like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But that's one of the pitfalls of this business. It's going to happen. It's just definitely going to happen, and you've just got to be really studious about going through your stuff. Because the thing is, if you got a roach problem or a rat problem, you're gonna know pretty quickly when you're in the unit. You're gonna know before you take that sucker home. It's not like, oh, you come home and then here come the roaches. You're gonna see evidence because as you move stuff and ship stuff, they're gonna start coming out. I've had this. I remember one of my guys was loading this chair and he lifted it up. Then all of a sudden the roaches was like, no. So the roaches attacked him, right? Because he had the chair and they were like going down his arm, like, Congo line style. I was just like, what the hell? And he's he threw the chair. He broke the chair, but I couldn't be mad at him. I understand. I mean, I would throw a chair if a roach was crawling on me. Well, several. And they were in the chair. They were in the sofa. My skin is crawling right now, so I remember that. And what we did, I had my storage auction kit. I had these furniture covers. I got them actually out of a storage unit. So I went to the truck, told the lady, excuse me, went to the truck, edit that out, that's crazy. Went to the truck and got my sofa cover and everything, and just bombed the thing, put the stuff over there, because I didn't want the stuff in my truck. The sofa set, the chair set, they were like maybe $150 set. I wasn't going to really take a chance. I just bombed it because I didn't want the suckers in the truck alive, dead, because they didn't just take them to a dump. And I'm trying to think, really, percentage wise, it wasn't every day. There were some facilities that were worse than others, but definitely you're going to have to deal with those if you're going to buy any significant number of units. It's going to be part of what you deal with. Sometimes you will see that the infestation is so bad that you can make the choice at the door whether you want to participate in this madness or not. Now, with me being foolhardy and not as risk averse, I bought those units. Had a special spot in the warehouse to clean up things like that, because if you're dealing with roach crap and you get a bunch of roaches in the unit, they will just shit on everything. I mean, it's like, and there's a smell. There's a certain smell with that. And I remember once there was this really nice bedroom set, and I kept asking myself, how in the hell could people be buying this stuff and have roaches? And then I talked to one of the storage facility managers who broke it down for me. It's like, oh God, all it takes is one bad tenant to move in and it'll mess up a whole section. He's like, tell them. They really want to know about the roach problem. If there's a bunch of roaches, they want to know, because Rodney and Roscoe, they travel. But that's about it in terms of what to do. I mean, it comes back to you. Do you want to really deal with that? And on the business side, if it's really bad, sometimes it's a killer deal. I mean, seriously, I have held my nose and bought those units. And when you get a 10 by 20 and it's got a roach problem, you get a 10 by 20 for $10, you can't help but make money. I bought a unit like that off of Covington Highway. It was public storage property. People ran. It was an outside unit. I mean, the roaches started coming out as soon as the door went up, and a bunch of people just walked off. I just stood there to see what it was going to go for. And there was another person who wasn't as risk averse, and I got it for $80. But without the roaches, that unit would have been $600 to $800. Same unit. Got in there. The roaches didn't really shit on stuff. They were there. Bombed the unit. Told the facility. I made like $4,000 off that unit. So you got to really weigh it out, how deep you want to get in this business, and understand you kind of if you don't have a warehouse or a place to put this stuff, it's going to be real hard for you to play the game on the manager level. I'm lying. It may be damn impossible. Back in the day, a guy in a truck, yeah, you could do it, make 30, 50 grand a year. And we even work it part-time. But now it's just too competitive. I do believe that there's starting to be a fallout with the storage auction attendance. Enough people have gone on, because if you just Google storage auctions, so many of the boards are going to be like, Storage Wars is not real, Auction Hunters is not real, I found this, I bought this. There's a lot of information online in 2012 that was not there in 2009, that was not there in 2010, that wasn't even there in 2011. Yeah, later part of 2011. But there's so much information about storage auctions and what people are going through that just if you spend the afternoon Googling it, you're going to come across a lot of answers. That's just the reality of the business now. But that's just something for you to think about, because Roscoe, Rodney, and I forgot my friend Sammy the Snake. Yes, once again, with it locked close to the storage facility, chance, especially here in the South, green snakes, they may be in there. Now that would make for an interesting story. I have never met a snake up close and personal, but I was at an auction, same place I got the unit with the roaches, and they went in there and there was a snake in the unit, a live snake, and people were running, but that sucked. Believe it or not, that unit still sold. It's still sold. All right, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions.